giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
Morning, good people. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live, presented by Freeman Mazda Hyundai, streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. I am your host, Will Skywalker Steele. Boom! You know, I'm really digging and loving this 8:30 situation. I might have to have a conversation with Zach and those boys. I move this thing to 8:30. I seem to be more on time when I say I'm coming on at 8:30. So maybe we'll stick to it. We are 7 days away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 days away from Cowboys training camp beginning. And we are going to continue our countdown to training camp series. And today we'll talk about a couple cornerback battles. Not too many high-profile ones. We know who the cornerback 1 is, right? We kind of know who the cornerback 2 is, but we want to see a battle there. And then we'll talk about a down roster battle at the cornerback spot. And surprise rookies, maybe. We'll see. I think this is going to be one of those positions where it's going to be tough to crack. But we'll get into all that. And then in the roundup, we got an article feature from our guy, Mauricio Rodriguez. So y'all make sure y'all stay tuned for that. Shout out to the Bomb Squad for coming through this morning.
Squad!
What's good, bro? I see my boy Lee in the building. He says it's been a while, but he's here. Good morning. What's good? Hey, bro, I'm good, man. If you get a hold of Jay Will, which I got to reach out to him, let him know that everybody is loving his remix to Optimistic Sound of Blackness for my intro music. I keep saying I want to switch it up, but they love it, so I ain't switching it up yet. I'm going to keep it, and we just going to rock out till y'all get tired of it. So shout out to Jay Will. Shout out to 717, my brothers back there that have been rocking with me before I even was on here. So salute to y'all, man, for real. Y'all mean a lot. Today, I wanted to start this off with one of my other cousins, my first cousins, before we get into the roundup. Did y'all see Terrence Steele? Let me pull this up right quick. Let me make sure I got it up before I pull it up. Okay, it's up. Take a look at our guy Terrence Steele right quick. Just take a look at this Terrence. See, there's a few players on this roster that I don't want to overstep. But he keep working with Big Duke in this offseason. He's been working with Duke for the last 2 years, apparently. And we saw the jump from year 2. All right, we saw what happened there. And now we're looking at Terrence Steele looking just absolutely shredded and ripped and ready to go. This is a 6'6", 315-pound dude or whatever it is. He's up there, something like that. He is clearly trending towards that example of what I say, talent sets the floor, character sets the ceiling. He might not even had a floor. Right? Like his floor was really bad when he came in, but his character allowed him to get to, in my opinion, starting quality right tackle type of a situation. Now, some people will say, oh, well, he really wasn't a starter. We got to see him for a full season. Sure. Me personally, I seen enough to feel confident in one Terrence Steele, to be honest. And I know he's just pushing sleds and things like that. That's not really what I care about. I'm just saying, look at the physique that he put himself in through the hard work. He's been with Duke for the last 2 years. We know when Duke touches you, it's like magic. And pause, because I don't want people to won't get Duke in trouble. But when Duke gets you out there, works with you, more often than not, you progress. And I just love to see Terrence Steele continuing to work with him, looking like he's continuing to get in better and better shape. He was already, in my opinion, super athletic last year. You go look at the tape. So now you're telling me he's going to be even better shape going into year 3. Steven.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Steven. If you go all the way back to about March, I said, you might want to go ahead and re-sign this man. You know, we're getting rid of La'el Collins, okay? Terrence Steele showed that he can handle it. So I'm not really, that one didn't really do anything for me. The La'el release, to me, it would have been nice to have him around for the depth, move him into guard. That would have been cool. But for strictly right tackle, whatever. You had your guy on the roster, your young, healthy guy on the roster to move forward with. Now let's get in front of it. Get one of those little cheap contracts. T Steele said, nah, Steven. We coming for the bag. So if he has another jump, let me ask y'all this. What is the ceiling for Terrence Steele? Hey, we're all projected here. But what's the ceiling for Terrence Steele if he takes another year 2 type jump? And I think I lost my YouTube chat. I did. So let me bring this back up. I got my Facebook chat. What is the ceiling for Terrence Steele if he has another year 2 jump? I got one for you, but it might be blasphemous to you guys. Let's see here. Steele will get a 7-year deal. I mean, I scoff at that, but I mean, they gave Tyron Smith a 10-year deal or whatever the hell it was. Dumb to hire Duke, then he can't work with them like this. Oh, so I guess people are saying the Cowboys need to hire Duke. That is a good point, Danny. There's restrictions when they are the coordinators and on staff. What is the ceiling? Sky's the limit, says C. Burleson. Just be better than Collins is all I ask for, Captain. I think he could be better than. I'm not talking about money. My bad, y'all. Maybe I should say this. What I'm getting at is, I think Terrence Steele, if he has a similar year 2 jump in year 3, we could be looking at the Pro Bowl. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm talking about the specific type of jump he had from year 1 to year 2 was massive. So if he has that same jump from year 2 to year 3, we're looking at a Pro Bowl type of year. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying that looks like the ceiling for this kid if he continues to show that his character is much better than a lot of other players around the league just leaning on their talent. Now, he showed some talent in year 2. He might not came in as a high floor guy, but he keeps raising that floor. Will he get a Tyron Smith deal? No, I don't think they'll go that far. I wish I had the numbers up here again from back when we did the show. But the number I was looking at was the first La'el Collins deal, where it was something like 3 years, $17 million. If y'all remember the actual numbers, you can let me know. But I'm not looking for him to get like $15 million a year, $20 million a year, anything like that. But I think he could be looking at that. So, wow. Samuel Rowe is telling me to pump the brakes. That means something. That means if Sam is telling me to pump the brakes. Seriously. I mean, think about it for a second before we get into the roundup. I'm not talking about, hey, if he's the same Terrence Steele. That'd be just a solid right tackle. If he has that same jump from this current Terrence Steele, aren't we talking about putting him in a different tier? Not all pro, not the best, anything like that, but a Pro Bowl type of year. He might not get voted in, but I mean like actually playing. And I think it's most to do with his work ethic. You know, he just keeps working at it and he's got tools. Sky, the going rate for Pro Bowl right tackle is around 20 mil. Well, that's why I'm saying I would want to get in front of him. I wanted to get in front of him in March or April, whatever the hell we did that show. Just in case, right? Because it's a win-win. If he doesn't work out, it doesn't cost you a whole lot. Cost you nothing. You know, you can get out of that contract in the second year and it costs you pennies on the dollars to cut him or move forward, whatever. Oh, but if he does, you now have that man on an even better deal than potentially a Tyron Smith, right? So That's kind of how I was looking at it. And that could be jumping the gun here on him, but I was looking for who could be the next get in front contract that the Cowboys like to do, and he was my number one guy. Is this his extension year? Yes. This could be the year because he was undrafted. You are able to sign an extension with an undrafted free agent after 2 years. Yeah, I believe. I could be wrong, but I believe that's what happened with Lyle. After 2 seasons, they were able to assign him to an extension. I got to go back and look. It's rusty right now in my head. But here's also the caveat to this. Steele's a restricted free agent after this. So they don't necessarily need to do this. They can keep him again for cheap, extremely cheap, as a restricted free agent. And that's probably what they're going to do. But if he just continues to keep ascending, it is going to cost you then 2 years down the line, right? 2024 is going to cost you some bread. So that's kind of my maybe bold takeaway, bold statement right now, which I don't think is that bold. I truly do believe Terrence Steele has the potential, if he jumps again, to be in that conversation. What y'all talking about? I think Ryan Ramczyk is the highest paid right now. I have no idea who the highest paid right tackle is. What's up with Lane Johnson? Is he up there? I'm pretty sure he's still up there. Very true, Mike. He says, when you don't have the draft pedigree, I think if work ethic is a must. I'm not really sure that part, but yeah, you should have it in general. And we're going to get to that once we get to the cornerbacks later on in the show. You should have it in general. Period. All right, man. I just wanted to kind of shout out. He started off this whole process as my third cousin. He moved up to my second cousin, gave my respect. By season's end, he was just cuz. We'll see how many times he'll be at the grown folk table during the season. I can't wait to bring that back. Not anybody. I know there's people in here. I had a blast doing the grown folk table at the cookout for my players of the games during the season. I can't wait to bring that back. And still, I think he was there a couple times. So I'm sure he'll be back. With that said, y'all, let's go ahead and hit this quick roundup and come back in and talk about some of these corners. It shouldn't be a long show.
It's time! It's time! It's time!
It's time. It's time.
It is time for.
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
I probably should stop saying that. Ole do it. Hey. Shout out to Mauricio Rodriguez, a.k.a. Mo Rod, host of the A to Z Sports Primetime Show. Y'all make sure I check that out every Sunday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Central. He wrote an article featuring wide receiver Jalen Tolbert. Says that he checks 3 critical boxes for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Research says. I believe this came up a little bit on this show through the chat some odd weeks ago. Let me get a clip from it. I'm not going to tell you the exact 3 positions. Then it would be pointless to go out there, or 3 boxes. Then it would be pointless to go check it out. But I will say this. The guy who wrote the actual article is named Steve Petrella. He says, quote, Jalen Tolbert and Commander wide receiver Jahan Dotson check most of the same boxes as the favorites. They both have chances to slot in as wide receiver 2 on teams with offenses that will be decent. Tolbert is a long shot, mostly because plenty of first and second round wide receivers. Now, this comes from Mo. Dominate the odds right now. Out of the top 10 favorites for Rookie of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year, 7 are wide receivers. But here's a part of his article that I actually like here. He says, but players like Drake London and Treylon Burks didn't fall in ideal offenses. And that might add negatively to their profile. So Tolbert comes in to a good spot, right? Tolbert comes into a good place, I think, to kind of progress and become a quality wide receiver. And I think he's going to be a good one off the bat. The problem with Offensive Rookie of the Year is in this offense, unless things change, I just don't know if he'll be able to get enough statistically to get it. Think about in 2020. I can't remember who won it, but CD Lamb had almost 1,000 yards that season and 5 touchdowns, and he didn't win Offensive Rookie of the Year. We'd be happy just to get Tolbert at 7 and 4 or 5 touchdowns. That's a quality rookie year. If Lamb didn't win it with almost 1,005, it's going to take a Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson type of season for a wide receiver like Jalen Tolbert to get it. So if I had to ask you, a scale, they're easy numbers, scale 1 to 10. How high would you rate the possibility of Jalen Tolbert winning Offensive Rookie of the Year? From 1 to 10. Where you got Jalen Tolbert at? Where we got Jalen Tolbert at, man? 3 is alpha. Ooh, real low and toxic. Oh, this is interesting. I thought y'all was going to be super high on this one. Toxic said, just cancel lunch with my wife. Sky Marathon show on the way. Okay, there's some lower numbers than I expected here. 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 5, 6, 8 with Lemitra. Professor O is really down 1. Tom is really down below 1. I think these are fair. I don't really see Jalen Tolbert from 1 to 10. I'm at like a 4 or 2. But it ain't because of Jalen. Like Jalen Tolbert got the goods. Jalen Tolbert messed around. He messed around and be your wide receiver too sooner than later. I'm not saying right now. I'm just saying at some point Tolbert, he's got some really good tools. All right. I just in the offense of take what the defense gives you. Right? An offense where we're not going to feature anybody right now in July. Maybe that changes when we get to September. Maybe that changes when we get to camp. We see things differently. I just don't know how Jalen Tolbert is able to get enough statistically to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. He'll be in a conversation. Like, he'll probably finish top 5 or whatever it is, top 7. They literally give you, if you get 1 vote, it goes on your resume. Hey, you got to vote for Offensive Rookie of the Year. But it's going to take him to get something like 1,100 yards, 8-9 touchdowns, maybe more. Maybe more depending on what anybody else does. So, yeah, I think I'm right there with y'all at this moment. Unless Jalen Tolbert gets to camp, Michael Gallup, they say, hey, Gallup, we're going to put you on pup. You're going to miss the 4 games. Tolbert's balling, and Michael Gallup comes back. Hey, Michael Gallup, yeah, you now part of the offense, but we love what Tolbert's doing, and things change. I got to wait to see that before I go higher than that, man. Ooh, Lemitra. He'll be our Jamar Chase. Like a little bit of this Kool-Aid in here. Nah, not enough Kool-Aid for me to say that. It's not enough Kool-Aid. Zeke got over on Facebook. I got 2 different chats going. This is crazy. Zeke got a 9. You basically saying he gonna win Rookie of the Year. If y'all want to call in, you can. 351-999-3787 is the call-in line. 351-999-3787. J Money got about 700 yards, 4 to 6 tutties. Who do I want to see have a better year, Tolbert or Gallup? That's so 2009. I want to go Gallup. I'm going to go Gallup because I need this. I need our second wide receiver. Somebody calling in? Okay, make sure. I need our second wide receiver to, I know it's going to sound crazy, replace the production that CD Lamb had. And with Michael Gallup going into year 5, I feel like he can and should be that guy. And he adds an element, not saying that Tolbert, because Tolbert's, he's a well-rounded wide receiver, but he adds an element to the receiver position since he's been here that I don't think any of the guys currently possess. He has that physicalness to him, that go up and get it, that 50-50 red zone presence. I think he could be your slant guy. Tolbert's too slight, I think, to be a guy that you can count on as a possession wide receiver right now. He's like a $194, I think, and that might be generous. So he's a slight guy, where Michael Gallup's a big guy. I mean, in the sense of he might not be 250 or 230 or nothing like that, but he's been around. He knows how to take the hits. He knows how to run those routes to take the hits. One of the best high point catch guys in the league. So I would like to see Gallup be that guy because I think it'll help Tolbert, right? It'll help Tolbert. It'll help Lamb. It'll help the offense in general. So 2009 says he'd agree. He's in effect taking Amari Cooper's slack. Yeah, the way I broke this down, y'all, when we got rid of Amari Cooper, this is how I broke it down. CeeDee Lamb slides into Amari Cooper. Gallup slides into what CeeDee Lamb would be, not necessarily same roles, but that second guy. And now Tolbert's going to slide into what Gallup is / Washington. Those two will battle it out. But let's get to the meat and potatoes. Ooh, C. Burleson. That's heavy there. Number 1. Okay. Let's talk about some guys who are going to be guarding said wide receivers. The Jalen Tolberts, the Washingtons, the Gallups, all those dudes out there. And we're talking about the cornerbacks. I think Cowboys Nation, this position group, and I've said this a number of times on the show, is going to be the hardest position group to crack in the sense of getting a roster spot. And I thought that through. I mean, if we go through all the positions, you could make a real legitimate argument that every position, maybe quarterback, but every other position, there's a spot in that roster that is in a way either empty or there's a battle to fill it. RB3 we talk about, right? Hell, wide receiver 4, 5, 6. Really more so 5 and 6. Safety 4. There's no solidified guy there. No guy from carrying over from next year. Defensive line, maybe D-line. D-line's a bit tougher too. I put that up here with this position. Offensive line, we know swing tackle, right? Backup center. There's some spots there that there's some competition. And I look at corner, and I'm like, well, they got the same 5 guys returning from last year, and all 5 of those guys have assets, high assets attached to them, whether it be their draft pedigree or their contract. And some of those guys had career years. So I think the cornerback position is just going to be really tough to crack for a down roster dude. And if a down roster guy does crack this roster, that tells me they balled the hell out in camp. They balled the hell out in preseason. But you got to be careful because Maurice Kennedy was one of those dudes. Then he got in the game against Philly and he didn't show out too well. And then eventually, hey, Maurice, your ankle hurt, right? Nah, coach, I'm fine. No. Your ankle, it hurts, right? Yeah, IR, boom. So he's out now on IR for the rest of the year, and we don't even hear from Maurice Kennedy anymore. So this position group could come down to trust. Pin that in a second. It could come down to trust. So let's take a look at an underrated down roster battle here with a guy that's drafted and a guy that was undrafted. And we're talking about Deron Bland versus Isaac Taylor Stewart, a.k.a. Stewart. No, I'm just playing. A.k.a. ITS out of USC and Deron Bland's out of Fresno State. I think these guys aren't competing with the top 5. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But here's who I think they're competing with, and that's CJ Goodwin. They're competing with themselves. That's that, right? These two are competing with themselves. I think CJ Goodwin has a pretty strong hold. But if any of these two guys show enough from a special teams department and as a cornerback, I think it makes CJ Goodwin's seat way hotter. Way hotter. Bland and ITS, two athletic physical corners, and Brugler talks about both of them, and I want to read what he had to say. And ITS's breakdown is real interesting. But here's what Brugler had to say about Bland, who he designated as a priority free agent. The Cowboys took him in the 5th round. Bland smothers receivers on the outside and plays with the speed and physicality that pops on screen. Saw the physical part. His twitch is slightly delayed at the top of routes, although his eye use and route recognition showed encouraging improvements in 2021 as he adjusted to the FBS. First year in FBS, he was a transfer. Overall, Bland has only average hips and will lose his feel for the route at times, but his length, speed, and toughness are desirable traits for NFL teams to develop. Boy, if there was a traits draft, this was one. This was one. And Deron Bland brings that. 6 foot, about 200, shading under that. Runs a 4.46 40. Physical guy. Wants to make a play on the ball. Not scared to put a hat on somebody. You took him in the 5th round, so it's hard for me to just completely rule him out. Last year I thought there's no way the Cowboys are carrying 11 players that they drafted. There's no way, right? I can't rule it out because they took 11 guys to the roster last year. The Cowboys drafted 8 or 9 guys this year. I guess it's possible that in 2 drafts you get 20 dudes on your roster. But the room, man, it means that you're going to have to probably cut your best special teams guy, who is a special teams weapon, or your 3rd round pick, which we'll get to a little bit later, who I don't even have it going that route just yet. So right now I just got him battling Isaac Taylor Stewart, who might even be more interesting. 6'2". By the way, shout out to 9 Deep. This is his guy right here. He calls Isaac Taylor Stewart the Cowboys cornerback too right now. Wouldn't that be something? Isaac Taylor Stewart, 6'2", 200 pounds. He ran a 4.4 40 as well. And he might say that was a slow time. He was one of those guys that was coming into college as one of the fastest dudes in America from high school. Here's what Brugler had to say. This one's a bit lengthy because I found one part of this real interesting. He says, after becoming a starter as a redshirt freshman, he came off the bench in 2020 before regaining his starting spot in 2021. Although his play was very up and down, he gave up 16.9 yards per catch in 2021, which was the highest average in the Pac-12. Don't like to hear that. But here's a nugget on ITS that I thought was really cool. He grew up in martial arts. Taylor Stewart is a 2nd-degree black belt and shows outstanding speed to turn, run, and stay on the same play vertically or outrace receivers to the breaking point. However, too often he is late to recognize that break point and find the football leave him out of position and an easy mark for quarterbacks. Overall, Taylor Stewart is toolsy, again, traits, tools, prospect with his blend of length and speed, but wild technique and very little semblance of playmaking instincts leave him disconnected from receivers in coverage. He is a low-risk, average reward project that Brugler had as a 6th-rounder. So this is interesting. He had Taylor Stewart as a 6th-round guy, low-risk, average reward, and Deron Bland as a priority free agent, and says he has desirable traits that NFL teams want to develop. Who you got, Cowboys Nation? Both of these dudes ain't, if it's one thing I could stand on, both of these dudes ain't making the team. Hell, none of them might. But who you got, Deron Bland or Isaac Taylor Stewart making this roster for the Cowboys? Let me get in here and see what y'all been talking about throughout this entire thing. It seems like y'all still talking about the wide receivers. Sully, but Sky, they brought the Vach but on here. With Maurice, he was killing in the slot during camp, and then the season they put him outside. I'm gonna have to do this, man. If you're in a defense where they're asking you to do multiple things, which, by the way, Kennedy was a guy who's played outside and inside, and he didn't just kill in the slot. By the way, I went to every practice down here and watched. He was killing on the outside too. He was probably your 2nd best cover corner in camp, no matter where he lined up. Then he got into the season and it just never stuck. shoot, I want to say the big play, the bad play he gave up, he was in the slot against the Eagles. I can go back and look at that. It was just one bad play, but he didn't really show out. So that's on Kennedy. When you are a dual threat guy and you get the opportunity, no matter if it's inside or outside, you got to take advantage of it. And he's a guy that played both in and out for the Jets and the Ravens and in Dallas. So I can't give him that excuse, man. Can't do it. This guy let his ankle injury. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying, Professor. Where is 9 deep? This is your guy, man. I only got to ask you who you got. Toxic says, so another 5th round failure. Well, I mean, I'm gonna get to the second part of our competition, and again, this pick kind of had a similar, like why type of question of taking Bland, not because of the player, but because of the position. So if I was in those meeting rooms at that time, I'd have said, well, what's the thought process in taking DaRon Bland? Now, Will McClay spoke on that, about the length, about the speed, and all those type of things. We know Will McClay loves long arms at cornerback. He loves to have a physical nature to the corners and things like that. But how does he crack it? Who we getting rid of? Jaw says none of them. Gregory got Stewart. Professor O says neither. There you go. There go 9 deep. Isaac Taylor, Stewart, cornerback 2. What's worse? 9 deep, Stewart, cornerback 2. Steve White, well, let's go tight end 3. Was Bland a draft pick? Then he makes it. Iceberg Q. I mean, I'm going to battle with this until I see it in person here. I suppose they can go 7. I just have a hard time believing they're going to cut the player that I think they'll have to cut. And I ain't talking about CJ. I feel like CJ is going to be on this team. Hell, you know what? Maybe CJ. Maybe they cut him. Maybe they cut him. Maybe it's CJ. Maybe they just cut him and they go 6. That's fair. Cowboys will draft another cornerback early next year, Ultra. Now, Ultra, wasn't you the one telling me that there's a plan for the guy we're going to talk about later? Why would they do that? I take the 6'2", 4'3" player that ran a 4.21 in high school. 9 deep. That's the guy. That's what I said earlier. He was, I bet you that 4.4. He ran a 4.4. I bet you he probably looked at that and said, this is slow compared to what I could run. I wonder if he was hurt. So when I get down there, y'all, this is one of those position groups I'm going to be watching, or not position group, position battles I'm going to be watching heavily. And this is something that I always hear about when Cowboys draft certain receivers, or cornerbacks. We did it with Reggie Robinson. Well, can he play safety? I don't know. I would have to ask coach. I'd have to see him out there. I haven't watched tape of him playing safety, so I really truly don't know. In regards to DaRon Bland is what we're talking about here. But I think the reason why we've done that over the years is because we just hadn't had a guy at safety that we could hang our hat on. I think we got that now in both safeties. And I think we got a good third one. We drafted a guy we like a lot, Marquise Bell. I don't know that we need to force somebody back to safety anymore. So I think we should see what these dudes have at corner, right? Eagles are trash. Well, stay tuned about the Story Jackson. We're definitely going to get to the linebacker countdown this week. I got you, brother. I do trust Dan. Ultra, I need you to call in. I need you to call in. Because you're not giving me an answer on this one here. Maybe somebody else can help you out here. He says Sky trusts Dan Quinn, but is skeptical about Nashawn Wright's plan. What is his plan? I would love for you to tell me the conversation that you had with Dan Quinn and tell me his plan. That you are the only person that seems to know the plan for Nashawn Wright, Ultra. Could somebody please tell me what Nashawn Wright's plan is? Because when I asked him yesterday, he came out and said, oh, well, he's going to have a role this year on defense. Dan Quinn's got a role for him. Well, what's his role? You followed up with, oh, well, next year he's going to take over for Anthony Brown. And I followed up with, well, what about Kelvin Joseph? So what is his ultimate plan here for Nahshon Wright? Somebody please humor me, because that is actually our next debate here. It's a triple threat match. Kelvin Joseph, Nahshon Wright, and Anthony Brown. Yes, indeed. I got all three. And since we're talking about Nahshon, the 6'4", 185-pound, soaking wet 2021 third round draft pick, I would love to know, what is the plan for Nahshon Wright? Because the more I thought about it, and I said this to y'all before, the more I think that this was an insurance pick. An insurance pick for the guy he's next to in this picture right here, Kelvin Joseph. And I don't want to dive into the shooting and continue to do that. But now, I mean, my opinion, if that's the case, you see why they took a Nahshon Wright. Because they were maybe worried about Kelvin Joseph off field, which I think is a terrible way to draft. Don't draft either if that's the case. But I don't get why you would take two corners in back-to-back rounds. In a round, in the third round, where I'm looking to develop starters. I'm not looking to just get a guy that's going to be a core special teams player for the rest of his life and with that team. But here's why I worry about the process for Nahshon Wright. Kelvin Joseph is supposed to be the heir at cornerback 2, not Nahshon Wright. Nahshon Wright's 6'4", $185. He don't got the hips to play in no goddamn slot. Trayvon Diggs ain't going nowhere. Jordan Lewis has 2 more years left on his contract. What are we doing with Nahshon Wright from a cornerback position? Somebody please help me out here. Or help out Ultra. I don't need the help. Come on, somebody. Hey, Ultra, drop this magic plan we have for Nahshon Wright, because I want to know. I want to be convinced that there is a plan here, because I'm worried that he'll just be a special teams guy, barring injury, right? Obviously, he can get some tick if these guys get hurt. But what is the plan that DQ has for him? Tizzy says special teams God. All right, here we go, Ultra. Dan Quinn has said he is a role and plan for every player. Oh, Dan Quinn personally picked Wright. I'm not a coach to question his plan for him. All right, we're running away from the question. All right, that's fine. That's cool, Ultra. I'll let you add that one, man. I'll let you add that one. It's all good. Of course, there's hey, man, I got a plan for everybody when they come here. But then there's reality. When we look at this cornerback room, who are you playing Nahshon Wright over, Cowboys Nation? I spelled his name wrong there. My apologies, Ashawn. I digress. Now let's get back to the actual battle. The reason why I had to pull a Teddy Long.
Hold on a minute, player. Hold on a minute, player.
Hold on a minute, player. This is now a triple threat match. The reason why I had to do that is because if Kelvin Joseph, let's just pretend there's no suspension, whatever. Let's just kind of go that way. If Kelvin Joseph can beat out Anthony Brown now does face a wild card. This turns into a fatal four-way match, and that's Jordan Lewis. Because AB, I think, has done enough to be able to compete at one of the positions, slot or outside. I don't think you're just like, okay, Kelvin Joseph wins, you cut Anthony Brown. No. You're not doing that. You're not doing that. So I think it's only right that we throw in Anthony Brown. Honestly, it's actually throwing in Nahshon Wright because it's Kelvin Joseph versus AB. But what if Nahshon Wright, what if the plan, Ultra, right? What if the plan comes to effect here that he just becomes better than both of these dudes? Now Nahshon Wright's your cornerback too. I don't believe that's the case right now, but I have to put him in there. I have to put him in there because Anthony Brown has garnered, in my opinion, enough respect to go in as your cornerback too. But he's not the type of player like a Trayvon Diggs where I don't think anybody, you're competing anybody with him to take over. I think you want somebody to beat him. Can they do it? Can they do it? Ron, this is something I've been asking for a few weeks now.
Super chat.
Appreciate the super chat. Think Quinn intended to run more cover 3? Quinn threw intended. So you're talking about past tense. I thought you were saying intends. Quinn threw a wrench, I think, in everybody's projections on what he was going to do. I personally thought Dan Quinn was going to come in here and be more of a cover 3 team.
Hold on a minute, player.
Hold on a minute, player. Be more of a cover 3 team. I know it has to be. Because that's what he was doing in Atlanta. That's what he was doing in Seattle. But one thing I think we kind of just glossed over. Maybe I can't remember if it was before the season or during the season. But he talked about it. It definitely was before. He talked about taking what he did in Atlanta, taking what he did in Seattle, pulling out the bad, doing some of the good, and adding wrinkles. We kind of looked at that as, okay, you know, defense coordinator trying to learn. He flipped it. He did a whole 180. He played more cover 1 man than anybody in the entire National Football League. Hence, you see the man coverage stats with Trayvon Diggs, the man coverage stats with Anthony Brown, the most single high safety looks in the National Football League. Y'all know me. I've been saying, what if you re-sign Malik Hooker with the intentions of doing some more 2 deep type of things, some more zone cover 3 type of things, because you got a guy who does really well in those situations. I'm not saying they're going to completely go away from man, but maybe he gets back into the lab and he continues to progress as a defensive coordinator and add little wrinkles. So for your question, Ron, I would like to say that was a thought process, but I mean, he came straight out right away and was a man guy. So I don't know. Maybe he didn't have any intentions on running cover 3. It was just a ploy. 9 deep, Kelvin Joseph is my slot. When we drafted Deshaun Wright, that was my original thought. I was like, okay, well, maybe they're looking at 3 years down the line when Jordan Lewis's contract is up. Deshaun Wright on the outside, Kelvin Joseph on the inside. But that's not happening this year because Jordan Lewis and AB are still here. Next year, Jordan Lewis will be here unless Jordan Lewis stinks and you cut him. But if Jordan Lewis has another good year, why would you do that? I mean, for a guy, D-Shift said, for a guy that hasn't stepped on the field, the players seem like they vibe with Kelvin Joseph. What do you mean by that, D-Shift? I mean, he has been on the field. He played a good bit the last quarter of the season. Toxic says, Sky, what are your realistic expectations for Kelvin Joseph this year? To say his career has been underwhelming thus far is an understatement. Man, that's early to say that, ain't it? I think we have to put a pin in that. Will he be suspended? All right. If he's not suspended, the talent is there. There's no denying that. The talent is there for Kelvin Joseph. I still hesitate to say he'll be anything more than your cornerback 3. What I mean by that is your 3rd best corner competing to be your 2nd best corner. I'm not writing off Anthony Brown. I know y'all want me to. I'm just not doing it until he writes himself off. Let's give Anthony Brown enough rope and then see what happens. Sky, appreciate you, Lamont.
Super chat.
Sky, and anything goes in their prime, Goldberg, Stone Cold. Also, I think our secondary going to be nasty AF. Come on, man. Austin.
Give me a hell yeah. I said give me a hell yeah.
We doing? Ron with another donation.
Super chat.
Appreciate you. Cover 3 and cover 1 looks can be the same. Will be huge to be able to disguise it with Hooker. That's my wild card right there. Malik Hooker. We were one of the teams that ran some of the least cover 3 looks last year in the league. I don't know if he's going to flip that on top of his head, I have my doubts in that because he has success as man. And I'm trying to get Dalton Miller on. He did a super deep dive into the Cowboys man coverage last year and cover one looks. But there was clear, there wasn't even no disguising or no cover 3 looked like cover 1 with the Cowboys last year. It was clear as day. Ton of cover 1 with DeMonte KZ back there. D Shift says, I mean, he hasn't played a lot. My fault. Okay. Watching some sound from the sideline. Well, you did say that. He was featured a lot late and seemed to have the attention of some of your key contributors. Chemistry, then he says. Oh, I mean, he's part of Brotherhood. You know what I mean? He wasn't. What happened now didn't happen then. He was on the team. He's on the roster. He's on the sideline. They didn't, one thing I like about the closeness of this team, they didn't alienate anybody, right? So, yeah, he's part of the boys. You know what I mean? We'll see what happens this year. We'll see, Sometimes, you could be a homie with somebody, but if they start doing something crazy, you might have to start separating yourself a little bit. So we'll see how close they are with him after this situation. Who was that veteran to kind of take him under his wings? Is it Anthony Brown? Because when we talked to Bohanna, very, very strangely, a defensive tackle brought up Anthony Brown as a veteran leader in there. And I know we don't hear about this a lot unless you're actually talking to these guys. But Anthony Brown is looked at in that room as a leader. A Hatch said, hey, Sky, I started to turn around Brown, but boy been balling. AB, we should call him in the city. Yeah, I got no ill will towards Anthony Brown until he shows me that he ain't better than he was last year. If he's worse, then we can critique him. But to me, he's your cornerback too. Here's what the cornerback room looks like right now, in my opinion. Let me pull it back up. Oh, another thing I wanted to show y'all in regards to Kelvin Joseph. Here's a nugget. Now, this came out of, I don't want to say frustrations, but Twitter is Twitter. Here's something that Bobby Belt said about Kelvin Joseph on Twitter. Joseph would have to earn loads of trust with the organization that he simply doesn't have right now to be in position for his raw talent to matter. I had to pick a breakout candidate who can't even break out of the team's doghouse. This was a couple days ago. I guess there was an ESPN article. They had the top 15 breakout candidates, and they had Kelvin Joseph very high. They had him at like number 9. And Bobby Belt, he said, I don't know about that. And somebody was like, are you mad? And he said, you sensitive, and he broke this down. So if you can get rid of all the other stuff and just look at this part here, he has to earn loads of trust with the organization he simply doesn't have right now. We're talking about a guy who is one of the most plugged in guys, insiders to the Cowboys. So honestly, Toxic, if you want to talk about expectations, this could help give you some insight to what he may be or may not be doing this year. No trust right now. Uncut says if he didn't do anything, he shouldn't be suspended. Even though you don't like Wright. Who said I don't like Wright? Ultra, you gotta, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it, like y'all gotta put my son's coach says, put your listening ears on to my kids. Put your listening ears on, man. I don't dislike Deshaun Wright. I'm just talking about what is.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
Don't know where, and you're not even telling me where is he fit this year, other than the same special teams thing. It has nothing to do with disliking the kid. Y'all know me. I love height. I would love for nothing more than the 6'4", hopefully gets to 200 pounds, 6'4" cornerback to turn into Richard Sherman. But right now, I like 4 other cornerbacks above him at this point. Okay. But you said he's going to buy me a bottle of 151. Hold off on that. You can keep the 151, sir. That will literally just sit in there. I am done with 151. I told y'all, half-heartedly told y'all a story about that. Appreciate it. I was wondering when some people, because I don't think people like Bobby Belt. And Ultra said, Bobby loves to trash players that he has off-field issues. He trashed Ball right after the draft. He also said D-Law would be cut. Yeah. Yeah. I figured some people didn't like Bobby. I personally don't. I think Bobby's way of just giving you the straight information, I don't mind it. I know it comes off very, very harsh, but I think Bobby does a fantastic job, personally. But, hey, to each its own, right? You ain't going to be everybody's cup of tea, but I'd rather be everybody's whiskey. Hey!
It is what it is. It is what it is.
B. Bird OG, what's good?
Hey, what's up, Sky? How you doing this morning, bro?
I'm good, man. Trying to keep this show down to a minimum. I said it was going to be a short show, and I think we're trending towards that direction.
Okay, so I'll make this quick too.
You good?
I
You
think
good? We got time.
The thing with Anthony Brown is, prior to last year, everybody had their ideas of who he was, and it wasn't good. It's no different than Steele. But last year, man, and it takes a while for him to convince people that this is not a charade.
Yeah.
But last year, man, Anthony Brown actually probably this could be I'm going to overstate this, but it's some reality to this. He may have been the most underrated player in the NFL last year, especially with the expectations coming in. They did draft Kelvin Joseph to take his position. But Anthony Brown not only played solid, he played above. If you go look at all the matrix that they judge cornerbacks by, he performed well. And the one that I am really impressed with is that he had 5 penalties all of last year. And 4 of them was in the Raiders game, and a couple of those were bogus calls anyway.
Mm-hmm.
The guy played well. He got turnovers. He had coverage. And with people, when you're playing the opposite of Diggs, you're going to get a lot of attempts at you. And he just held up well through all those, even, like I said, even start getting turnovers. I think right now we have a really good 1-2 combination with cornerbacks. And the thing is that at the start of last year, his value went up. Well, Kelvin Joseph's value has went down ever since. Even if it's injury or the off-field things with the legal situation this year, it's been trending down for him. I think that second-round draft pick is the one that they give Jerry Jones to play around with. I mean, he's taken some chances with Jalen, Gregory, and that's to take a chance on a guy pick. This one here, they probably should have done a little bit more research on this guy. Anytime you have a guy that
he didn't have to
that's
do that
boss
much.
Man fat, and yeah, you didn't have to do that much. It was right there in front of you, man. And so it's one of those things where I look at these guys, man, and if we don't have the right program to bring these guys into, we shouldn't bring them in. I don't think we have the right program for these guys. And so with Kelvin Joseph, it's at versus. Right now, it's not even a match. Not even a conversation, to be totally honest with you. Anthony Brown has solidified himself at that number 2 cornerback position, whether people like him or not. And I often tell you this. I can tell the level of Cowboy fan I'm talking to. Whenever they say Anthony Brown sucks, that tells me all I need to know about you. You might as well you get all your information from Skip and Shannon or somebody like that. That guy's played well. Take your emotions out of it. We couldn't, ask for a better number 2. We could, but I'm saying the number 2 cornerback we have right now is sufficient to win the Super Bowl. The number 1 cornerback we have right now is sufficient to win the Super Bowl. I am happy with where we are right now with Anthony Brown. And if Kelvin Joseph beats him out, then that's great because he would have to be playing at a high level. But I just really think the Anthony Brown slander is just uninformed fans, man, really parroting things. And looking at the first 2 years.
Well, that for sure. Do you think, B. Bird, this could be one of those situations where we're so focused on our team that if we were to look around 32 other teams and look at their cornerback 2s, we'd say, Anthony Brown's 2021 season wasn't, one of the worst of the 32 cornerback 2s in the league, right? he would be considered in the top half, top 10, top whatever, right? I'm pretty sure he'd probably be considered a top 10 cornerback too from 2021. I'm not talking about his career, just last year, right? I think sometimes if we take off our Cowboys tunnel vision and go look at the league, quickly, name me the cornerback 2 to the Super Bowl champions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Quickly, name me the cornerback 2
right.
For the Bengals. Eli Apple? Okay. Quickly, name me the cornerback 2 in San Francisco. Quickly, go. Not you, but I'm just saying, right? Like, we have these.
Well, no, I can't do it either.
Shoot, I can. We have this tunnel vision with our team sometimes that whether it's unfair or fair to criticize our players, that's we're going to criticize them. Period. They are guys. We can do that. But then when you take a step back, look around the league, you say, "Oh, well, shoot, Anthony Brown, he better than Eli Apple.
Yeah,
Anthony Brown better than Anthony Maddox." Anthony Brown's, but you know what I'm saying, last year. So I wonder if that's the case with AB from the 2021 season.
It is that, and what it is more of we can't unsee bad plays, and we can't. It's hard for us to disregard the first few years of his career. And other teams, we only see glimpses of those guys. So we're not as harsh on those guys because they're not near and dear to our heart. But Anthony Brown plays for our team, so we're more critical of him. But again. And you said I would argue to say that he's a top 5 number 2 cornerback, and as I say that, you're probably thinking about it. You're saying, that's kind of hard for you to find 6 or 7 guys better than that guy at number 2 and did what he did last year. I just think
a project I would love to go look at.
When guys start looking at number 2s in the league, and you start looking at all the matrices and all those type things, he scores high in all those things. And let me tell you this: if you didn't like Anthony Brown before 2021, you're not alone. The Cowboys didn't either. That's why they went and drafted 2 cornerbacks. But he's convinced those guys also. So I feel real comfortable about our secondary this year, man. And Anthony Brown is part of the reason I feel comfortable about it. So anyway, man, that's all I want to call and just tell you that, man, and just give Anthony Brown the support. And at this point in time with Kelvin, I'm just not really sold on him. Some of the things I've heard for him off field, I don't know if he's dedicated to playing football as he should be. I don't know if he's ate up with it. He has too many other things going on right now. Give me Anthony Brown and let this kid continue on and see if he's mature enough to be able to take over that position. Now, I'll holler at you later, brother.
Appreciate you, B-Bird. He might have me do a project here. I might have to go look around at the cornerback too to see where. I don't know if I have him at top 5. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure he'd be in the top 10 of last year. I saw somebody in chat say, "Well, those guys probably don't get flagged as much as AB. AB was flagged in 2 games last year. 2 out of 17." Some people say, "Well, I don't care about the other teams." I mean, well, when we're in a league where you compare with your peers. That was the point. The other point is those teams won the Super Bowl or have success, whether it be defensively or in the postseason or whatever, and they may have a worse cornerback too. That's the point of what I'm trying to tell you guys is that in 2021, AB held up as a cornerback too. You could have won a Super Bowl with Anthony Brown at cornerback too, is the point. Because teams won a Super Bowl last year with probably a worse cornerback too, or just as good as a cornerback too, but not a star at cornerback too. So would I love to get better at it? Sure, absolutely. That's why I have that versus. I want one of these guys to beat him out because that's just going to make your cornerback room that much better. If you got a guy like AB, let's say he continues to get better, right? But if those guys dump him, you just got a way better cornerback room. So I'm just, and I ain't gonna say I'm this one. I'm not perplexed. Lamb, sure, I'm perplexed why people. Dak, I'm perplexed why people. Not AB. I get why y'all don't like AB. There's 5 other years that y'all hated the man, and we didn't. And there was a couple years I didn't like him at all either. But the last couple was like, all right, you actually go look. He wasn't as bad as a lot of people make it seem to be. And last year wasn't bad at all. So people just are going to be stuck in that, and that's fine. He's got to prove it to him again that he can at the very least be a solid cornerback too. Some people are not going to move off that spot. I get it. It is what it is. Captain said, remember Daryl Worley? Yes, indeed, I do. And I always feel bad talking about him because he's a guy that he's a good dude. Trey said the Raiders game hurt. Again, I think the Raiders game was bogus. Truly, the Raiders game was bullshit. I'm going to just say it. 4 penalties, I'll maybe give you 2 of them. I'll give you 2. Other than that, he got hosed. Point blank, period. You know, but if y'all gonna hold my man to the 1 game, that's the you problem. That ain't AB problem. AB put out a bunch of other tape last year that was solid. But if you gonna hold on to that 1 game, hey, it's free country. AB and groupthink. Most over-exaggerated player. Interesting. Not overrated, but over-exaggerated. It's a different one. 5 penalties. Yeah, 4 of them in 1 game. I thought that was impressive. We brought this up a while ago. He was only flagged in 2 games last year. 2. And he was targeted, I think, top 8-ish in targets. And if we look at his quarterback rating when targeted, it was at 78. And he ranked in what was that statistic that they put out here? I think it was like a top 10 cornerback in man coverage or something like that. PFF, again, grades I don't care about, but when they do actual statistical evaluations, really damn good. I got PTSD. I think that's it too, C. Burleson. I think people have PTSD. I think that's it. I think we looked at Anthony Brown, probably week 1 PTSD, which Quinn came out and was like, well, technically AB was trying to help out another guy, and we're like, hey man, Anthony Brown sucked last year. Look what Antonio Brown did to him. Look what happened in the Raiders game. And that's just cinched in our head. Look what happened years, I want to say 1. I thought he was all right in year 1. Years 2 through 4 or whatever it was. 5, whatever. I'm just talking about 2021. That's all I'm saying. Who do y'all want at cornerback 2, says Mr. Dunn. I think we should all want Kelvin Joseph to earn cornerback 2 because his ceiling, I think, is higher than Anthony Brown's. I agree, Flo. Right, I agree. We got a lot of hot button players, right? A lot of players the nation seems to be combative with, which makes me wonder, well, then how good is the roster if we're not all the way confident in it all the way around? But get back to Kelvin Joseph real quick. Something that came to my head. Is Kelvin Joseph the Tristan Hill? Is Kelvin Joseph the new Tristan Hill, whatever we want to call it? Meaning, Kelvin Joseph in the doghouse. We saw a tweet. Tristan Hill, 2nd round pick, by the way. Both 2nd round picks. Came in the league, immediately got into the doghouse. Tristan got injured. Year, was it 2? But and they're in the doghouse for different reasons, right? I'm not saying Hill did what he did or anything like that, but 2 guys who had character concerns, work ethic concerns, but there's talent there. And we lean on that talent. One of them has never met expectations. One of them has never hit their ceiling of talent in regards to Tristan Hill, and this is year 4. Kelvin is very early in his situation, but a lot of people are obviously down on him for I think an understandable reason. Somebody died in a situation where he was involved in. But this is a big important year for Kelvin Joseph, not even just from a player standpoint on the field, just getting the trust of the organization back. Very important for Kelvin Joseph. Yeah, Jarvis, right. That retweets or that pizza guy saving those kids from fire is crazy, man. Let's shift real quick and get D shift on here.
Hey, what's up, man? Man, I think Kelvin Joseph's more like Randy Gregory. Your second round, like talent's there. I think with Tristan Hill, it's just more of a talent thing, you know. And I think with Kelvin, it's more of a, you know, just the off the field stuff, just kind of having a, I don't want to say addiction, but I mean, you at this point, you know, you're given so much opportunity, and I mean, ultimately, you know, guys.
Wasn't Randy's like a mental health issue though?
Well, I mean, yeah, for sure. I don't mean addiction. I mean, you know, addiction has a very bad.
Well, what I mean is, I'm not aware of Kelvin Joseph suffering from mental health, whereas Randy was.
Well, I think it's you know, I mean, if we get real deep into this, Scott, like, I mean, there has to be a mental health thing with anybody who's going to kind of participate in a lifestyle that is threatening to your overall just way of making money, you know.
Kelvin's to me seems like just a poor judgment situation of who he's with. Whereas I don't think anyone worried about Randy Gregory doing anything behavioral wise to threaten his life or his, you know, football. It was more so what he was using to combat his mental health issues. Right. Which no longer is an issue anymore, by the way, but hey.
No, not at all. Like, I mean, in Gregory's case, you know, it just sucked that you know, he had such a big opportunity just from, I mean, he was supposed to be a top 10 pick, right?
Yeah.
And then just to lose it all from just, I mean, even if you could have just stayed cool, I mean, I'm going to just chill out for this 2-3 months, and then once we get rolling, and, you know, the samplers ain't coming around too much, you know, I'll do my thing here and there, maybe even get some tips from vets who, you know, I mean, guys smoke throughout the season, so. But just to the extent that he let his draft stock fall and then kept getting suspended behind it. You know what I mean? Like, I totally agree. Like, you know, I'd rather those guys do what they got to do however, you know, because it's a hard sport. And then when you throw mental health into the, you know, who are we to kind of hold these players to just that superhuman standard. So not even holding them to that, but just making a comparison. I think overall Kelvin Joseph is talented like Randy is. And just, I mean, in Joseph's case, you know, it's like you come into the league with people concerned about your entourage ultimately, right? It's not so much making the music, but it's just the entourage and the lifestyle that comes behind making that type of music, right? And you can still make it without living that lifestyle, but obviously Kelvin, you know, I mean, being from Baton Rouge or Louisiana or whatever, you know, it's just so many things those guys face, you know, being young and in their 20s, you know. So I think hopefully he can kind of just maybe it's something that he should. I mean, he'd be cut by now, right? Like if he didn't have the talent, you know,
Of course he got the talent. They drafted him in. We're not questioning that, right? I think the issue with Kelvin Joseph coming in was never talent. It was
and he's another guy that dropped.
Does he love the game enough to work at it outside of the star, outside of the field? Does he have that? Remember, we talk about talent sets the floor. We know you got the talent, but character sets the ceiling. And at this point in time, and I don't mean to rip a Band-Aid off, it's clear as day you should have took Sante Samuel Jr. because he had the talent and the character, right? It was, in my opinion, probably a no-brainer. And when you look at both of them compared to talent and character, but they decided
Kelvin
to say
Joseph was like he was a first-round prospect, right? He could have easily went in the first round had he not had those character things coming from, you know, the LSU and Kentucky kind of thing that went down.
He didn't play a lot in college. He only had 15 games in college. That's hard to really be like, yo, I'm gonna take you in the first round. He would have had to be an absolute animal in 15 games. He was really good. Don't get me wrong, but I think
he could have.
Yeah, if he played a little bit more, possibly. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I agree with you wholeheartedly about Asante. Like that second round thing, man, it just sucks. Like, thank God for Trevin Diggs, but like just the second, they got I don't know. It's like they focus so much on the first round, and then second round is like
It's like they
just gamble.
Experiment round. Yeah, exactly. Yep, they'll gamble.
Yeah, don't gamble. Don't gamble in the third. I mean, gamble in the third more. I like to see more of that. Trading up in the third and
it's not even debatable at this point that it's clear as day. Jerry Jones looks at round 2 as, what first round ish talent that may have character concerns can I grab and be the smartest guy in the room? If we're being completely honest,
or injury,
it hasn't
or
worked.
Injury.
A guy like I'm talking about characters. I'm just talking about characters. And well, I guess I should say injury. You're right. I shouldn't ignore injury because Jalen Smith didn't have a character
Bruce
issue.
Carter, Sean Lee.
Well, I was more so speaking in this century as opposed to
modern day.
Yeah. I'm talking about more the Jalen Smith, the Kelvin Joseph, the Tristan Hill. Like in the last 6 years, you took in Randy Gregory 7 years. We're gonna go back. You took in major gambles on these guys, whether it be injuries or character concerns. And if we're being honest, none of them have worked out long term for you. I love Randy Gregory, but he ain't here. He ain't here no more, and he barely played.
Yeah, that whole mantra of the Cowboys drafting, they're just talking about the first, second. I don't know. But good talking to you, Scott. Let you get back to cornerbacks, man. I don't want to veer too much, man.
We done, man. We at the tail end of the show, man. But appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I put up a tweet a long time ago. Cowboys second round picks after the Kelvin Joseph thing happened. I'm like, are we trending? I did go all the way back to. Now this wasn't about character. It was just literally about. Take a look at the second round. I went all the way back to Sean Lee. If we want to be fair, Sean Lee, DeMarcus Lawrence, Diggs ain't going nowhere. Diggs are your only guys, I think, that stuck around and had quality after that first contract. You could argue Awuzie was a win. You could argue Connor Williams was a win. They're no longer here. I personally believe a real win is getting a second contract from your second round pick. We can't act like second round picks are fifth and sixth rounders. Like, you want those guys to stick around. In between all that, Tristan Hill, Gavin Escobar. I don't think they had a second round pick in one of those years. I don't have it up here, but Bruce Carter, Woozier, Connor, they had some solid years here, but they didn't stick around. And Carter was injury prone. He had a really fantastic season. One time he led the team in interceptions, but that second round been real weird. Lately, in regards to Trayvon Diggs, though, you got an all-pro. I think we hit there. We obviously hit on DeMarcus Lawrence. I don't want to be, including Sean Lee seems weird. That was 12 years ago, 13 years ago, whatever. But it has been a very strange second round for a decade and some change for the Cowboys, where you want that second round to be more like your first. But maybe that's how it is league-wide. I even think I tweeted that, too. Like, maybe this is the norm. Maybe you only hit 3 out of 11 second-round picks after, the first contract. But I feel like they might have to change their philosophy in that second round and stop going after talent with character concerns or concerns in general. Bionic knees, but he had the talent, but we'll see if we can get him. Hey, he got the talent, but he don't really, football ain't his first love. Hey, he got the talent, but he might get suspended a bunch for smoking. Hey, he got the talent, but he's a headache. He don't like coaching. We can't coach him up. Well, this shit ain't working. Maybe Kelvin Joseph changes that. We'll see. But so far, he's following that same trajectory. Willie said AB equals Awuzie. Awuzie. 9 Deep says Dan Quinn made us argue about whether to keep AB and Jordan Lewis. Would that be a good thing? Having Dan Quinn here is definitely, I think, revitalized those guys' careers. Sure. Toxic says, here's my issue with this team. I want 53 players who want to win and dedicate their life to their craft. KJ is not that guy in regards to football. You definitely want aspects of that, but we have to be, we're humans, right? They have lives outside of football. But you definitely want these guys to love the game enough to be able to make certain decisions outside of their lives that will affect them, right? Like, I probably shouldn't be with this person. I probably shouldn't do this because it'll affect me being able to play, or this isn't going to help me become a better player and help my family, myself, whatever. So yeah, the character is real. And I think it's a famous quote that we probably seen all in high school, hanging in the weight room. You know, character is who you are when no one's watching. Like, that is such a, I don't want to say use the term cliche, but that's everywhere in every high school locker room or whatever. But it's true. It's true. It's why I'm high on a guy like Terrence Steele, Tyler Smith, right? These guys have high character that they are doing what you want, right? Dedicating themselves to be better on the field when they're not on the field, if that makes sense, right? Like, okay, practice is over, I'm going to go not get better. Nah, they're doing these things. And I think they're reaping Tyler, we'll see. But Terrence definitely is reaping the benefits from his character. I'm hoping this was a wake-up call, though. I said this before when the whole situation happened in regards to Kelvin Joseph. A wake-up call in that, and it happens, right? Young, make mistakes. You decide to be around people you probably shouldn't be around, whatever. Hopefully, he learns from this. Hopefully, his friends learn from this. And he becomes a better person from it. We got Marv in the building. Not Coach Marv, y'all. We got Marv from the West Coast. Hey, look, Marv, we got about a couple weeks. It'll be over there, brother.
I know. It's going to be crazy. The battle's about to start.
It's going
to be good. Yeah. Hey, you got to remember, and you know this deal, where you come from Philly, you got gangsters in your city. I'm from East St. Louis. Gangsters.
I ain't from Philly, but I'm from around. I ain't from Philly, Harrisburg.
Oh,
that's about an hour outside of Philly.
I know. Y'all, hey, everywhere in the hood.
I'm about to say, hey, hood got issues. So yeah.
Yeah, but we all grew up with knuckleheads.
Sure.
You just gotta know how to stay away from them. But you can't be a fool and be like, because you know how these guys are crazy. But you know what I think what happened? That guy was in there and went to the club partying, because I run clubs, and got in his car, and the fool probably told him, yeah, I shot in the air. He probably said, man, what you doing? He shot in the air. Oh, he just shot in the air and scared him. And then when he found out later somebody died, he probably told that dude, hey, man, you ain't, nah, fool. You just got me trying to make me lose my career. Nah, that's when he went and told what happened. And that dude went to tell on himself, both of them dudes. Now they're in jail. He made sure. I don't blame him. I would have did the same thing. Because, they supposed to be protecting him, because that's what they do. When the football players go out, I see them a lot. They got all the football players got they dogs with them. I'm just letting everybody know who's listening. They got their dog with them, because guys be trying to rob them, because, they wear them $100,000 necklaces.
A couple of my boys got robbed when they came back home. That was in the league. I'm not going to say no names, but it ain't all fun and games.
It ain't no funny game. So them guys are always a target. And then, he's in a rap game. The rap game, you got the different sets, and they be, oh, man, I'm better than you. And probably one is, they probably got in the army, got a little squabble, like you saw in the film. And then the dude probably say, man, he in the back, like me and you in the back. We could have been with him still. We're in the back. We're like, what this for, man? What you doing? Oh, man, I just scared him. And then found out later this nigga shoot somebody. Come on, man. Who did? That'll piss me and you out. I'm not going to jail. I tell my friend, I'm not going to jail.
Listen, I've
So-
been in I've been in a lot of situations I would never really reveal on air, but I've been in
Yeah.
situations where I had to look at some people sideways and say, I'm never kicking it with you again, bro. Like, I'm not even an athlete. It's just that I'm not putting myself in this situation no more, and you clearly won't stop doing this ish. So we cool from a distance.
Yeah.
Ain't no hard feelings.
Cause I had to stop. I got a few like friends that I
Right,
know
right.
that's like that, and I talk to them, cause I'm in the truth. I say, nah, man, don't do that. You got your family. Go this way. Sneak them out the back door. Whoop, he leave peaceful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Cause man,
I used to
cause
be
these dudes don't play.
I used to be a promoter too, Marv. See a lot
you
of
did?
things. Yeah. I used to
Man,
be at the clubs, hosting
I
the club.
see
all that stuff, man.
everything. In California, they got at their club, they got cops. We don't do like everybody else in some of the cities. No, they got security, cops, real policemen in front of their spots. Cause these are the top of these high end clubs. But these gotta be millionaires. LA got all the millionaires, people. We got every millionaire in the world here.
Well,
From
listen.
Saudi Arabia to Dubai,
Well,
from everywhere to come to these clubs.
well, Marv, how far are your clubs from Oxnard?
So you bought so y'all live in Oxnard, y'all like 45 minutes.
Oh, then I'm coming. Hey, listen, you gonna have something popping on that Saturday or that Sunday or something? I come to your club.
Yeah, Saturday, the one spot I got is Boosie Bellows is off the hook. So I don't want you to get in trouble. It's like 10 girls to a guy.
Oh, no. I just want something real cool, chill. I don't want no like super craziness going on, man. Me and Voss can kick back and just chill. Just chill with you. I just want to come through with something, Marv. Yeah, I mean, get a little drink, just chill. I don't want nothing crazy going on at these clubs now, Marv. Don't send me to the boom boom room. I don't want that. I don't want none of that.
Now all the spots I run is all high end.
Okay.
So,
yeah, that's what we want. We want high end.
And they
a little dapper.
LA, LA high end, boy. They ain't playing around. So I look at all the top, not the ghetto.
Oh yeah, I would avoid that at all costs. That was fun when I was younger. I don't care for that no more, man.
Yeah, I don't play with that ghetto, man. I can't do it, brother. But we gonna have a camp battle, and I heard they talked to Bar. And you probably got him on the. They talked to him. But like everybody.
Oh yeah. I talked about that yesterday. Anthony Barr.
Yeah, they talked to Anthony Barr. Everybody, and I'm telling you, I'm sort of like Stephen Jones. I know y'all get mad. I'm like Stephen Jones fans. I got tired of paying for these players. Then it come playoff time, they choke. And Stephen Jones looked at that, told his dad, man, this kid's got $20 million. He got one tackle. This kid's got $20 million.
I can't say what I want to say.
He jumped out there. Cowboy ain't playing with y'all no more. Cowboy, Dad.
I need
Cowboy sick of y'all.
Oh man, I got a good joke for that. So you a Stephen Jones fan, huh? Okay.
Well, I just get mad too because I've been with the Cowboys since I was, I'm 59. I look like I'm 30. When you see me, you'll see. But because I work out every day. But
I said I'll be in the gym.
I'm tired of these guys choking. Even when we had Romo there,
I'm with you.
I'm still mad at that Giants game. We had the best record. Was up 14 to, I think it was 14-7, and the Giants drove 65 yards
before halftime.
52 seconds.
I think that was
before halftime.
Yeah, that was before halftime. That drive pissed me off. Yeah, I'm with you.
Oh, that's pissed off. And then Big Mouth 84 Clayton, Romo hit him across the middle. If he would have called the fans, he'd have went to the house. We probably would have won the game 24-21. This fool dropped the pass. Choked. Oh, that pissed me off. I'm still mad at the game. That was a game that got me going. Oh, and then one more, the cornerback. He could cover.
Mark,
He
you gonna
fell
get
asleep.
your blood pressure high reliving that game from 15 years ago.
The Green Bay game we should have took the lead when it was 31-28. Dak drove us down. They called the wrong play. We had to kick a field goal instead of going for getting it 35-31.
Yeah.
But it was tied up. 2 seconds left again, y'all.
Play-by-play.
Quarterback. He rolled out at 31, wasn't looking, and he hit that tight end for like 30, 40 yards.
Third and 20 pissed me off, Mark. Hey man, I don't want to get y'all. I don't want to get you too pissed off this morning, bro. It's Tuesday.
Hey,
we got a whole.
I know, but I know all the fans remember. That's all. My friend.
You remember?
He had an opportunity. We choked. We got to stop choking.
We got to stop choking.
If we can get past that one playoff game, I think we got. Trust me, we got to get past that one game.
Baby steps, man. Let's win multiple playoff games first, and we'll see what happens. Appreciate you, OG.
Yeah. Hit me. Come.
Yeah, we definitely gonna hit you, man. As long as you ain't gonna have me in some crazy place, we gonna hit you.
Nah. All my sponsors.
I got
top
you.
Notch.
I got you, brother.
Hey, before you leave, if one year they came and I met that was the end of the camp, so they got to go out.
Yeah.
And I met all the defensive players. They came to the one club I run on Thursday night.
All the defense players.
All of them. The whole defense came. Like 30 of them. They got a table. They had a good time too. They like, I was talking to your boy Lawrence. They like, man, I said, come on, man, we need you. You got to show off. Yeah, it was good.
Hey, man.
Good boys.
All right, Marv, I'll get with you another time, brother.
All right, family.
Appreciate you, dog.
Blessed day, man. You too.
Y'all, there's something else in this chat. T-Mac said, Marv going to have me in Magic City somewhere.
Hell no. To the no.
I want no parts. I don't want no parts. I want a chill kickback. I'm over the shoulder to shoulder. We in the I'm over all that, man. Just a little something. If you got a little booth, me and Vosh can go kick it. Holla at Marv. Be on my merry way. That's all. No problems up here. D-Chef. This guy got his hands on the key, and Marv won't take his hand off the car. That's what he do. Boy, I love it, man. Marv be like, listen, I ain't talked to you in a week. I'm going to get it all out. We're going to get a week's worth of conversation right now. Funny, man. Funny. All right, we in overtime now, ain't we? All right, let's do a little bit more overtime. 7:04. What it is, what it do?
What's up, Skywalker?
What's good? Who this?
This chillin' is Marcus McDowell out of Charlotte, North Carolina.
Charlotte, North Carolina in the building. My mom's is down there, man. Salute to Charlotte, North Carolina.
Oh yes, sir. I love Charlotte, yeah. But I was just calling, man. Love your show. I love that y'all keep it real.
Thank you.
You and Foot's the king.
Thank you.
Big Cowboys fan. My mom, my dad was a Cowboys fan, and still love my Cowboys. But I think this year, man, I think Prescott gotta step up his A game, man. We lost Dez because he said Dez wasn't open. Uh-huh. Now we losing. We lost Cooper because he's wide open. I think he just got to play his A game, man.
Yeah, Dak is going to have to 100% going to have to take his game personally to the next level. And hopefully if he does that personally, it'll trickle down to the rest of the team. This is that point in time I always talk about where a quarterback hits year 7, they're about 29, 30 years old. They start to see things quicker because they've been in the league longer. So it's that point in time here, man. I just hope that, because I do believe, bro, that he's going to take the next step. I just hope that when he takes the next step, he's bringing the team with him, if that makes sense.
Yes, sir. I understand. Exactly. That's exactly what I mean. And I want all our Cowboy fans to understand that. I know we hate Jerry sometimes, but Jerry don't play the game. We got the players to play the game. He might make the calls, but you still got to – I mean, it don't matter who the players are. If they don't go execute the game plan, you got to – that's why I was real upset with Dak on that interception in the playoff game against the 49ers, I thought it was a forced throw when he threw it. He could have threw it out of bounds, and we still, our defense was holding them. I just watched the game, the replay the other day. Our defense made them kick like 3 or 4 field goals.
In the second half,
that interception.
What pissed me off most about that pick is it went to said. Hey, you gonna throw a pick and you throw it to Cooper, you throw it to Lamb, cool, but it went to said in a critical point in that game. Yeah.
This year, Sky, I think this is a big year for me. Cause I'm a diehard Cowboys fan. This is a big year for me to prove it. Either is it worth paying back again? Is it worth paying back, or just let it just ride? And yes, sir. I just feel like it because I know Dak's a 4th round pick, and I love him from the get go. I can't say I would pick him over Tony Romo, but I really think I think he improved a lot. But it's time to make that jump for me.
Let me ask you this: what if he makes the jump personally, but the team is similar to last year, 11-6, 12-5, and they lose in the playoffs, but he plays more like he did in his first 3 playoff games than he did in the last one? You still off the train?
No, I just don't want. I'm not gonna give up on Dak all the way because who else are we gonna get? We're not gonna be able to draft we might get lucky in the draft, but that's gonna be hard.
I think at this point, man, you have a quarterback that you can win with. Now it's just a matter of making sure the rest of the team is equipped to do so as well. And when I say team, I mean coaching staff too, not just the players, but the coaching staff too.
Yes, sir.
Because you can be good. We've been seeing it throughout forever. You can be a good player. You can have developed as a player. But if your franchise doesn't come with you, then you're just going to be stuck in a hamster wheel.
Yes, sir. I agree with that. Well, this is the thing I say, Skywalker, is the dude, that got all the game and all the potential, but I don't like when our Cowboy fans say, well, Amari's he's too soft, and then Dak's too thugged out. I just want, not thugged out, but Dak's a little too aggressive, and he wears his heart on his sleeve. We can't make it perfect for you. Nobody in the league has the perfect wide receiver core or the perfect friendship. We just want you to play the game and win the game. I don't know why Cooper got. I don't know what happened with Cooper. I think especially it played out with us losing Gregory. Cooper could have been a big play this year to keep. We lost Gregory. We got money to pay Cooper, and we paying Dalton Schultz $11 million. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think the front office soured on Cooper pretty much, and they were just ready to have, I guess, Dak. This is weird, but have his own, because Dak, like I said, Dak came in, he was little bruh to Cooper's big bruh. Now Dak is big bruh. And I think they were just ready.
I really like that. I like that. Hey, Cooper. Skywalker. I love that we build the right team, and I don't want us to give up on Zeke, because if running backs don't get injuries, that's different. I think we should give Pollard the ball a lot more too, but I'm not giving up on my team because I'm a diehard Cowboy fan. But this is the year for Dak to prove it to me if he's elite or he's just middle of the pack quarterback.
Where do you have him at right now? Not elite or middle of the pack. Just like what do you describe him at? Okay. Fair.
I think Dak's in the top 10, guaranteed. He's better. To me, I think he's better. Watching him play last year, and Kyler Murray, he's not even on the what's the name. Kyler Murray's not even on the. He's not even. I'm not even.
He had an atrocious playoff game. Atrocious.
Yeah, I don't even count him with Dak. I think I was going back and just watching the game when we played the 49ers. I thought we don't have no, like, when things break down, we don't have let's say a crossing route to go to or something that he can rely on. He just gets nervous.
And I hate to relive this and rip this Band-Aid off, but what pissed me off about that game is that you really had 2 weeks to prepare. Let's be real. They wasn't preparing for no damn Eagles against the finale. And that was the game plan we came out with, knowing who you were going up against, knowing the type of pass rush you had, knowing your offensive line had been very shaky, right? Knowing your quarterback, well, now we know, they probably knew this, is hampered in a sense of he can't throw and run as good as he did. That's the game plan? That's
I could believe it. Like, Skywalker, we didn't have nothing quick. That's what I didn't understand. Get it. We're not playing quick. We want to try to. To me, Dak's not that quarterback that can go through 3 or 4. He can do it, but not as quick as Tony Romo. And Tony Romo take a lot more chances Dak don't take a lot of chances, like jump balls. Tony gonna take that chance to give you a chance because he believes my receiver's better than your cornerback. Dak, you need to see it, kind of.
Tony threw a whole hell of a lot of interceptions too until to the tail end of his career. You know, let's not forget that.
Yes. Hey, Skywalker, I got a question for you. I know you got to go. I got a question for you, but
I'm good. Sound like you got to go.
Yeah, I'm about to get a haircut, but it's all good. But Skywalker, Tony had that year that we had Dak come in for Tony. I think we missed the boat on that with Tony. With the best team Tony had, I think we would have maybe won the Super Bowl with that Tony Romo at the quarterback position. And even though Dak played excellent, it was the defense that really hurt us. But I think Tony was, like he said I watched this interview what he had where he said he was just now feeling like he could throw the ball anywhere on the field. I don't remember what interview it was. He said he felt like after he got hurt, after the Denver game, he threw all those touchdowns, but he felt like he really came into his own after that Denver Broncos game.
They probably should have went with Tony. Now, the locker room had a lot to say about that, but history shows that you just are not going to win a Super Bowl with a rookie quarterback, man. As good as he played for a rookie, and given the circumstances, the odds of you winning a Super Bowl with a rookie quarterback are slim to none, and we fresh out of slim.
You're exactly right. I'm glad we went with the offensive line in the first pick, too. That was the one that I think we got to go ahead and get that line back up to speed and get some young boys that can, be strong.
My man Steele was working with Duke Manyweather.
I saw it. I saw you posted. I watch every day.
Tyler Smith working with him. Tyler Biadasz working with. If those three boys can raise their level of play, there should be no excuse for Kellen Moore to put the ball into Tony Pollard's hands a little bit more, have a better ground game consistently, better play calling because you trust your front. There are really no more excuses for Kellen and Dak to be more consistent throughout the year.
Yeah. I think, Skywalker, if we give Zeke, I think everybody's showering on Zeke. I just don't understand why. The man got a PCL. If you play any sports, just a rolled ankle is going to change your game. Any kind of athletics, your rolled ankle is going to change your game. Like the plantar fasciitis that what's the name had. You can't.
Sure,
you're not going to be the same player.
The problem was playing him. That was the problem. We know he hurt. Sit his ass down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's one thing I don't like about But Jerry, the thing I don't like about Jerry now is he don't take a risk on the play. Like he's scared to pay people. Pay the player, man. But bring somebody in that's gonna change the game. Bring when we played Deion, and I was just young when we played Deion, but I always been a Cowboy fan through my parents, everybody. But we paid players back in the day. Now we don't play. We don't want to pay players. We want to get everybody on the cheap, and they got to be homegrown, drafted they got to go through our system. I just don't understand that. There's players that can play that help people win championships. Like Odell, he helped what's the name? The Rams win the championship. He don't have to be a homegrown player.
They don't win it without it. Yeah, without Odell, in my opinion. Yeah, I wish they changed their philosophy. You don't need to just draft guys, and that's how it's going to work. You better hope and pray you continue to be a good drafting team, because if you aren't, that could really set your team back for a long time if you go on a bad streak, right? Like, say you go on a 3-year streak where your drafts are not as good as they were, and you continue to not go out in free agency. Now we could end up being, the Falcons, of the last 5 years, where they just haven't been drafting that great, and they haven't went out in free agency and spent a ton of money, and here we are. But that's just one example. But in general, they need to spend money outside the organization.
Hey, Skywalker, this is another thing I thought we missed.
Yeah, last thing in closing.
This is my last thing.
Yeah, in closing.
Yes, sir, in closing. I think we should have, when we drafted Taco Charlton, I wanted us to draft White so bad. I wanted us to, we just missed on, we didn't miss on the last couple drafts, a couple people, like my man Connor Williams. They're just terrible.
You just opened a wound. That is the draft.
I'm a Cowboy. I beg for that.
That draft changed my whole mindset of drafts from now on. I no longer go into these drafts falling in love with a player anymore. I might have a pet cat. I might have a guy I like, a favorite, but TJ Watt, I was like, this is the guy. Opposite, this is the guy. And
I wish we would have got him. Taco Charlton, I don't even know who this guy is. But Mr. Skywalker, still, I listen to you every day. I own my own trucking company. every day. I'm watching you on YouTube, man.
Thank
I
you, bro.
appreciate you. Go Cowboys.
Thank you, brother. Great call. Appreciate you, and be safe out there on the road.
You too, brother. Be blessed.
My man got it all out there. He opened up some wounds, too. Man, he took it back on that 2016. I have friends asking me, well, what you think? You know, hey, put me on the spot back then. What should they do? I said, I'm cool with whatever they do. Dak was balling. It was like 11-1. Tony's Tony. But then we got to the playoffs, and I saw that statistic. It wasn't like I was thinking of this, but I saw the statistic, and it was like no rookie quarterback has ever won a Super Bowl. I said, God. Probably should put Tony Romo in the ball game. But they couldn't go back. Now, maybe you could have said, well, let's put Tony in the game. Oh, that'd have been weird, too, running a 2-quarterback system. I don't know, man. I guess it's one of those things where do whatever you got to do to win. If you thought, well, let me put Tony in the game here the last few possessions because, you know, we've seen him have some clutch ability. We also seen the opposite, but we've seen him have clutch ability, throw him in there. But, man, I made sure once I started doing this and I talked to guys that were in that locker room or around the team, I made sure to ask, what was y'all thinking? Like, what was going on? And the overall consensus was we wanted Dak. There was this doesn't get talked about as much as I'm starting to hear this whole Dak and Cooper thing talked about. There was a alienation feeling with Tony. There wasn't an inclusive feeling. There wasn't a run through the brick wall feeling, which is strange because he's a guy who would literally go out there and break his back for you. But there was Jason Garrett, Jason Witten, my guys, everybody else. DeMarco Murray was included in all that when he was here, and it was just something. These boys are just ready to run through the wall for Dak and continue to do so, and that's what they wanted. Now, they ain't the coaches, but, you know, you do have to lean on your leadership committee. But no rookie wins the Super Bowl. No rookie wins the Super Bowl. T-Mac said we got the preachers today. You know, I always say this to y'all. I let y'all go because I was definitely that person that calls into a show and wanted to talk. Get it all out there. But, you know, when you call into those like ESPNs and CBS radios, they give you 20 seconds. 20 seconds. I love what Jesse's show does on, is it just they do it? Maybe it's not Jesse's show. Maybe it's not Hanging with the Boys, but they'll get, it's actually 105.3. They have this little bit where if you call in and say, hey man, how you doing? They hang up because you got to call in and give your rapid fire take and then move forward. I don't want y'all to do that. Like, I like having conversations with y'all. But sometimes you do got to be like, oh, snap, I've been on this for 10 minutes, 5 minutes. We got to keep it moving. All right, man, let's get into this chat. We're going to wrap this thing up. We're in overtime. I know I should have just said, I should have never said that this was going to be a short show. We going on 2 hours. Appreciate you, T-Mac. Thank you. So Hanging with the Boys does it too. Okay, cool. Daryl says Kellen Moore needs to go back to aggressively attacking what the defense gives you. I think that's his mantra, ain't it? That worked greatly early in the season, so he should have stuck with that plan, but turned it upwards towards the end. Is it Darrell? I might have said it wrong. I still don't like the whole aggressively take what the defense gives you. Just be aggressive, period. Number one. You playing bad teams, I think that works. But I do think you need to be able to have a counter. You know what I'm saying? You're going up against better teams, better defenses, playoff atmospheres, playoff games. I think you need to lean into your guys. Lean into the guys that got you there. Lean into your best players. I don't know what the stats are. I can go look it up. But I bet you Cooper Kupp had like 100 targets in the playoffs. Seriously, he probably had close to 50 targets. Man, I'll go look. We ain't doing nothing. Cooper Kupp stats. I just feel like you should lean into your best players in the playoffs, in big games, in big spots, and not rely on, all right, we're going to continue to do the same thing. If that's not here, we're going to go to Ced Wilson and Dalton Schultz. And I'm just using those two guys. But Lean into your best. Let's see. The playoffs, game logs. That boy had 42 targets in the playoffs. Yo, 42 targets. He almost got as many targets as Noah Brown in one playoff run as Noah Brown has in 2 years. That's leaning into your best players. Jack says, Scott, you're great at letting us get it off our chest, but sometimes, woo, I know, man. I got to do better at that. I got to do better at, all right, this is the time frame. Voch has clock game. I just be having conversations with y'all. Hey, Ron, respect the Sky for doing long shows in mid-July. Love it. Man, respect to y'all. I ain't doing this long show without having conversations with y'all. 9 deep, bringing up Isaiah Simmons again. The Pats have an excellent coach who has an owner who doesn't micromanage him. You think Bill Belichick takes his game plan to Kraft to have it reviewed? Nah, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Y'all talking about the Pats in here? No one beta says more needs to go, period. Jerry's keeping him here like he did JG to show the world he was right on his coach. That's one thing that is hard for me to argue with you. It feels very JG-ish. To me, time is running out a little bit on Kellen Moore for this campaign. Maybe for another team, he'll be great. But for me, learning on the job crap, that was cool the first call. It's time, right? Like, put this thing together and let's do it. If not, give me somebody else in here and let's try to do this again. You're never going to know what you need to be better at if you don't understand and accept your failures. Like, we haven't done that since Jason Garrett. We've kept the same freaking DNA, offense, philosophy, all that stuff has been the same. A little wrinkle-dinkle, a little razzle-dazzle here and there with different coordinators. But this is all Air Coryell, Ernie Zampese with some razzle-dazzle. How long are we going to do this? This is going on 15 years now, 16 years. From 07 to 2023, going into 2022, going to 2023. Toxic says, if this upcoming year has the same results as Kellen Moore named head coach, how would you feel? If Kellen Moore is the head coach of this team, we lose in the first round. They already, pissed me off over the last few years. Honestly, it's going to take me to drink this ain't going to be coffee in here during these shows. I'm going to need a little bit more than just some coffee to get me through this with a smile on my face if Kellen Moore is the head coach next year. Yeah. I'll still be covering the team. Let's not think about that. Let's think about the Cowboys actually getting a couple dubs. You know what I mean? And keeping it moving. But boy, yeah, Toxic be hitting us with these hypotheticals that I'm about to have me reach through this dang on camera. All right, man. Look, we done now. Toxic, you done pissed me off. Hit this like button if you enjoyed this show on your way out, man. We done held 300 deep in here mid-July, the week before training camp. This is the dog days. Boy, I tell you, this is the dog days. But y'all rocking out, man. Y'all making this show. Y'all holding this down for real, man. I give y'all the credit, man. Not me. But if you're new and you can't comment and you did subscribe, it's because you got to be a subscriber for 20 minutes. You want to figure out if you want to subscribe, go take a look at the rest of our shows. I tell people all the time, man, you got to be live. Being here live is best. Run it back, right? Be a part of the hashtag run it back gang. But being part of the live shows is so much better because we can communicate the way we do. Later tonight is Tuesday, so Mauricio will be back on A to Z Sports Prime Time, 8 p.m. He's usually good. Central, 8 p.m. Central. He'll be back on here. And yeah, later on, 3-ish Mafia over on the volume. Voch Lombardi Live. We will be breaking down my rankings from a couple weeks ago Plus, we'll talk about Big Duke again and why he may be key. He may be key to what's going on right now with some of our linemen. We got a lot of people that's been working with him. So make sure y'all tune in for that. It's always a good time over there. Always something you can learn. And we have a ton of fun. A ton of fun, man. Appreciate you, 2009. Appreciate the Bomb Squad. I'm going to go ahead and hit this button and get up out of here. We'll be here for another 30 freaking minutes. Make sure y'all back tomorrow. Some more camp countdown battles. Unless some news breaks. Might be talking about those linebackers. That's going to be a real battle tomorrow. Or next week. We out of here. Love y'all. Peace. 8:30. I'm moving to 8:30. See y'all tomorrow.
Bomb Squad!